great Odin's raven.
This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
This is ridiculous. Okay, I'll go.
Hello and welcome to the FilmPulse.net podcast, episode number 29. My name is Adam, and today I'm joined by Kevin. How are you, Kevin?
I'm doing good.
I'm doing good as well. This week we'll be finally doing our feature review of Beasts of the Southern Wild. I'm also going to be doing a mini review of The Expendables 2 and Paranorman, because I saw both of those this weekend. We'll be highlighting some of this week's news, and as usual, we'll be going over some Amazon Blu Ray deals, giving our weekly predictions, and we're also going to be doing our DVD and Blu Ray releases this week in this episode, so we're going to kind of truncate it into one episode rather than releasing two separate ones. So we'll be doing those as well. First, let's talk about what we've been watching. Kevin, let's start with you this week. What have you got going on?
I had a really stellar week, I must say. I kicked things off with crossing another movie off of my movies that I have to watch before the end of the year, which was 2001: A Space Odyssey by Mr. Stanley Kubrick.
No, I never heard of this movie. What's this all about?
This is a little sci-fi flick. It's like a cult movie. Really underappreciated. No one really ever talks about it.
No, I never even heard of it.
Yeah. No, this is a movie that I have seen. I saw a long time ago. I don't even know. I can't even remember if I saw the entire thing. But I think we talked about it on another episode where I think it was during the Prometheus episode where I said that I needed to go back and rewatch this and pay attention. And I'm glad I did, because it was fantastic.
Yeah, this is one of my all-time top movies. This is Kubrick at his finest.
Yeah, and I mean, this is also helped that it was part of the Sight and Sound Top 50 of all time, which I think it came in at number 6. Came in at number 6 movie of all time.
I could agree with that.
Yeah, I can definitely agree. I mean, there's movies where you talk like, oh, the cinematography was wonderful. This is one of those movies where it's perfect from start to finish. There is really no bad shot in this movie. Everything is perfectly framed, perfectly filmed. It's just unbelievable. And the special effects for the time were unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Watching it, I think I watched it like Tuesday or something, 2012, and it still looks good. It doesn't look dated at all, really.
Yeah,
I mean, a little bit. I mean, you can tell that it was from the 60s, but wow.
Yeah, I loved all the sets and stuff. Apparently he modeled a lot of the, I guess because maybe NASA wouldn't let him use actual interiors for the shuttles and stuff. So he used photographs and stuff like that to model the interiors and stuff, and it looked so good.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Now I have to ask,
Absolutely.
Have you heard of all the conspiracy theories behind this movie and The Shining?
No, but I do. I just remembered that because of watching this. I was like, wasn't there a documentary that just came out a little bit ago about the conspiracy theories of The Shining?
Yeah, it was called.
I think it's like Room
247. I think. And there was one that also came out like a year ago called Kubrick's Odyssey, and that talked about 2001 and The Shining. You should definitely check that out, because I'm not a conspiracy nut. I don't buy into a lot of the stuff with, the JFK assassination and the moon landing and all that other stuff. But this documentary, it's a super low budget documentary. It was self distributed by this guy, and I think you can buy it on Amazon. It's a pretty compelling argument. Like, some of the stuff is just too coincidental. You can't be like, all of that is just coincidence.
Yeah. Well, this, I think you said earlier, room 247?
I think that's what it is. It's
room 237.
237. I was close.
Directed by Rodney Asher.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing that as well. I think that focuses on The Shining, but I believe that it has to probably reference 2001 as well, because they're linked. The theories are linked. But you got to check that out. Because definitely. I would definitely be curious to hear your take on what you think. So maybe I'll give you that as a homework assignment for next week.
Oh, homework assignment. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I was trying to break down 2001 a little bit. I'm not quite there yet. That's why I didn't really expound too much on it in my review. But I'm going to continue to think about it. It's what I liked about it. You know, it's one of those movies that you're going to be thinking about for a while.
Oh, yeah.
So that kicked off the week, which was a good start, I have to say. And then I followed it up with The Raid Redemption.
Ugh. Loved it.
Yeah, same here. Finally got to see this, and I was just giddy the entire time. Just giddy like a little school child.
It raises the bar on action films and martial arts films.
Yeah.
It excels on every level. I mean, the interesting thing about The Raid is there's very little plot, but they get the backstory out of the way in like the first 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. And that's all you need to know. The rest of the plot sort of develops, like you get these characters' backstories as this is unfolding. And I liked how they did that, because there was no like needless exposition. There was no pauses in the action to describe, oh, well, this guy's got this wife and all this stuff. Like they kind of integrated it all into it where you're figuring out who these people are as the action is happening.
Yeah. And that was something that I mean, normally I'll watch a movie and then I'll read, reviews or people's thoughts on it afterwards, just to see what they think. And I did run across a couple of people that were like, "Oh, there's no plot," and I'm thinking, what more did you want?
Yeah,
it's an action movie. It's a martial arts movie. They give you a little bit of plot that completely explains the entire film, and then just sit back and enjoy the damn fighting.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, how much more character development did you want? Did you want to see like the guy going through his childhood? I mean, my God.
I wanted some more with the wife.
Yeah. I want to know how she feels about everything.
Yeah, but I thought that anything more would be just needless, and I thought that they added enough for us to get to know the characters and to care about them, but they didn't add too much fluff. I mean, this movie's 99% action.
Yes, but that was the great thing about it. I mean, I was a little worried at first because, it's the SWAT team and they're raiding this building. They have all their guns and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I really hope that there's not going to be a lot of gunplay. And then, like me and you were talking, they run out of ammunition on like the second floor. So, win for me. Guns are out of here. There's only one explosion, which is amazing for an action movie. Because usually, American action movies is just filled to the brim with explosions.
And see, I'm not big on explosions either.
No,
I would rather
hate them.
see fighting.
Yeah, to me, explosions are the easy way out. I would just throw in a huge explosion here. But after that one explosion, and then it's just nothing but hand-to-hand combat, and it's nonstop.
Visceral.
Yes,
very just visceral.
And I said it I don't know if you read my Letterboxd review, but I mean, I've never seen this Pentax Slat martial art fighting, but I have how can your knees handle that? So much kicking and punching of the knees. And I'm sorry, but knees don't heal. They're joints. I don't care how strong you are. If you're getting kicked in the knees all day, you're going to have trouble just walking up a flight of steps.
Yeah,
let alone fighting people.
There were several standout moments. And going back to the explosion, that scene I thought was incredible. How they he took 2 seconds to figure out that that's what they should do. Mm-hmm. And it was like, just crazy. I did like that scene. And there were several really tense moments in this too. Like when it wasn't high octane action, it was extremely suspenseful. Like the scene in the wall in particular. Like you're just like, oh my God. Like it's just so crazy. And they took everything to another level in this movie. The knife fighting was like something I've never seen before. Yeah. Everything looked so real. Like especially like when he flipped the dude over the ledge and he landed on his back.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm pretty sure what we just saw was real. They really did throw that guy off of there.
They just sacrificed the guy for the movie.
It was just incredible. I loved it.
Yeah, and one more thing is, when I first read about this movie was there was a little comment about how Gareth Evans, the director, and the actors, they rehearsed for 6 months before they actually started filming. And man, you can tell.
Oh, the choreography is
amazing.
Out of control.
It's amazing. And it's really nice to see them take the time to get everything right.
And it's so fast, and some of the fight scenes are extremely long, and you're just like, how can they keep doing it? And
exactly.
And they're like, a lot of them are shot in one take. You know, there's not a lot of cuts. That was the other thing I really liked about the film was the camera work. I love how the camera just followed the action. Like it was in there, it was almost like the camera was another character, like you were just seeing out of the eyes of someone else. And
and thank God for no shaky cam.
Yeah, there was, and it was funny because I read some reviews on this too, and some people were complaining about the camera work, and I was like, "What are you talking about? You got to see everything." Mm-hmm. I thought the camera work was incredible in this movie.
Yeah, and I have to also say is that there was some really good cinematography for an action film.
Yeah,
some of those scenes are shot very nicely, which you don't often see.
Yeah, I do. Now, did you see the Blu-ray or did you see the DVD?
I saw the DVD.
I want to see, and I don't know, maybe the Blu-ray or the DVD is the same, but it came out on Blu-ray this week, and it is an uncut version. And I saw it in the theater, so I don't know if there's more added on.
I think I did read that it was cut when it came over here to the US, that it's not the original version.
Yeah, the Blu-ray has the uncut version, which I want to see. And I know that they redid the music for the US version, but I was fine with the music. I didn't think it was anything special, but I didn't hate it.
Yeah, I didn't hate it either, especially with it being, was it like Linkin Park?
Mike Shinoda.
Mike Shinoda, and I can't stand them, but I didn't mind it.
No, it was fine. What else you got?
My only misstep, if you can call it that, is rewatching Leaving Las Vegas.
Now, I rewatched this a couple years ago, and I read your comments on your review, and I would definitely agree with you that it does look extremely dated, and it actually, that kind of relates to another movie I'm going to talk about that looks extremely dated from the 90s.
Yeah, this is a movie that my wife has never seen.
Oh, okay.
So I got to rewatch Leaving Las Vegas. And aside from the performances from Nicolas Cage and Elizabeth Shue, not much else going for it. Still a decent movie. I thought Nicolas Cage was really good in it. Elizabeth Shue was, she did an all right job. But the cinematography and the camera work is just awful. Just awful.
Was Elizabeth Shue nominated for an Oscar for that? I seem to remember that. Like,
Yeah, Best Actress. She was nominated.
yeah. And but it sucks because after that, she's got nothing. Hollow Man.
Ew. Yeah. Yeah, she sort of dropped off there.
I still like
so
her.
did Mike Figgis too, though, the director. He hasn't really done much after this. I mean, he's done a couple of movies, but none of them really heard of. Cold Creek Manor? It sounds somewhat familiar.
Cold Creek Manor. That does sound familiar.
I hated the camera work. I couldn't stand it.
No,
Just the cheesy slow motion and the tilting of the camera.
I remember when this came out, it was huge.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was talking about this. And I remember I wasn't allowed to see it when it came out. I remember my parents rented it, but they didn't let me watch it. And it wasn't until years later that I watched it, and I was like, "Oh, this isn't that special."
Mm-mm.
It was just so depressing. Like, I don't particularly like movies about alcoholics unless it's like a side plot or not the focal point of the film.
Yeah.
What was that? There was a movie that came out probably around that time with Meg Ryan when she was an alcoholic, and I hated it. And I can't remember the name of it. But pretty much any movie where alcoholism is the focal point, I don't like it.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't think there's really been... I'm trying to think. I'm sure there are some, but just it seems like one of those things that Hollywood doesn't really get right most of the time.
No. No, I mean, I think that there's definitely an argument for leaving Las Vegas. People loved that movie, but I was never a big fan, even when I first saw it years ago.
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to be the last time that I revisit that movie.
Oh, yeah, I doubt I'll watch it again.
What else? Oh, Cachet. I know we're not gonna talk too much about this because which I was thinking. I think next week I'm gonna go on the Haneke binge.
Good. Yeah,
after seeing this movie.
Yeah, we'll talk about that off the air and decide when we are gonna do a Haneke episode where hopefully we can get Todd in, our contributor. He loves Michelle Haneke.
Yeah, and we have to get him because this was the second 10 out of 10 movie that I saw.
Oh, so you're okay.
I'm giving this a 10 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah. So I have the first movie of Haneke that I watch is like a 1 or 2 out of 10, and then the second one I watch is like a 10 out of 10.
Well, you definitely liked it more than me. I was loving it up until the end.
Which I think I am going to do. I think I might write a little analysis theory thing for the website.
You might did you check IMDb to see what people said? Because I found...
Oh, I checked IMDb. I checked all of... Like, Ebert wrote about it 3 times. I read most of the comments on Ebert. I didn't really find anything. Did you find anything?
Oh, no, I didn't look.
Okay.
I didn't really research it. I researched Benny's video after I saw it, and there's a amazing breakdown of it on IMDb. But you'll have to watch that one too. I'd like to talk about that one.
I mean, I think people got close saying that it was Haneke sending the films, but I think they're just a little bit off. So I'll have to.
So we'll come back. We'll come back and talk about that. His other films.
Yeah, because I'm interested in to see what Todd, what his theory is. Mr. I Love Haneke.
You got anything else?
No, I think that's it. I mean, other than my third 10 out of 10, but we're going to be talking about that in a little bit.
I started off the week with The Boss of It All, which is a Lars von Trier film. And this is kind of a departure for him. It's a comedy. It's pretty light. It's not anything majorly disturbing. Kind of about this actor who gets hired to play the boss of this IT company. And the interesting thing about it is the way that Lars von Trier set up the framing in the film, because he used this technique that he invented called it's called Ultima Vision or something like that, and it's basically computer generated framing where he has a computer automatically randomly generate the shot framing. So it's kind of all over the place. The audio's all over the place. Von Trier narrates it himself from time to time, which feels completely out of place and strange. It's kind of like, it's almost like he's just wanted to do something for fun. It doesn't feel like any kind of real movie. And probably half the actors are from the show Clown. The other half are from his other movie, The Idiots. And it wasn't very funny to me, but it could be some things lost in translation. There were a couple funny parts. I kind of liked the end, but it was kind of slow. And that actually leads me to my first bit of news. I don't know if you've heard about this, but Shia LaBeouf was cast in Lars von Trier's new film, Nymphomaniac. And in an interview, he said that there would be real sex happening in the film that's going to be shown.
Oh, yeah. No, I knew that. I read about that a while ago. Not the Shia LaBeouf part, but I remember Charlotte Gainsbourg talking about it because she was talking about in Antichrist, the scene where she is essentially masturbating Willem Dafoe while he's like sleeping.
Ugh.
Was he sleeping?
No, he was passed out.
Yeah, he was passed out. That Lars von Trier wanted that to be a real porn actor, and she was supposed to legitimately do that to a porn actor. And she said, no way, I'm not doing that. So in her interview, she was talking about how Lars von Trier is probably going to try and do more of the same with Nymphomaniac. And I think she was even talking about how he's already trying to talk her into having like real on-screen sex with a porn actor.
From what Shia LaBeouf said in an MTV interview, he said most of the actors that are in the movie are going to be the ones actually doing the things. And he said that there was like a big like a disclaimer, like a disclosure thing that they had to sign to say that they would be willing to do this stuff. And this kind of goes along with Shia LaBeouf announcing earlier in the week that he is no longer going to be working within the studio system. And he basically wrote off Hollywood films. I don't know if you read about this, but he basically said that he hates the studio industry and he's never going to be working with big studios ever again, and that he's excited to work with Lars von Trier because Von Trier scares him. He's like a scary filmmaker, and that's what he wants in his career. Is he wants to be challenged and scared.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm all for that. I don't think that you're a big LaBeouf fan, but I actually like him, and I think that if he does go through with that and sticks to indies and stuff, I think that that's a good choice.
I think he's all right, but I also think that this is easy for him because he made a shit ton of money with Transformers. I mean, if Transformers didn't happen, I wonder if he would be kicking Hollywood to the curb so quickly.
Well, but maybe it's because of his experiences with those big budget Hollywood
films. It could be a little bit of both, but I'm sure that he has a little bit of a comfort level there since of the money that he got from Hollywood, that he's going to be able to do this.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'm sure that's a factor, but you have to think if he was never in that, if he never made it, if he was never in that system to begin with, he wouldn't know. So I doubt that he'd be making those comments to begin with. And the quote that that he said was really funny. He said, what if Hollywood approached Terrence Malick to make Transformers 4? He's like, he wouldn't be able to do it. It was just funny. So,
I would like to see that.
good on you. Good on you.
But at the same time, I mean, think if he never made it into Hollywood, like maybe next year he'd be making like Holes 3 or something.
Even Stevens, the movie.
Yeah.
4.
He'd be like all grown up digging holes and shit out in the desert.
Well, I mean,
Cash that check.
I think he's a talented actor, and I think that's why he made it past the Disney Channel.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give him that. That's just he was. I mean, maybe my thoughts will change on him because he's not going to be doing Hollywood movies. So
yeah, I mean, we'll see because he's probably going to start doing more like Von Trier, Terrence Malick films, and you're into those, so
yeah. I mean, I can't like give a round of applause to a guy that was in Transformers. Bonding with what the hell was Bumblebee, like a Chevy? I don't care.
Anyway, so there's that. Boss of It All I wouldn't bother with. It's not great. I also saw Monster Squad, the film from 1987. This is one of these kids movies that for some reason I didn't see when I was a kid, and I don't know why, because if I saw it when I was a kid I would have been totally in love with this film. It came out probably right after Goonies. It's very much like Goonies, but this week was the 25th anniversary of the film being released, so I decided to give it a watch because I never saw it before, and it was pretty good. I mean, if I was 12, I would have loved it.
If you were 12, you would have loved it.
Yep, that's my final.
This guy directed RoboCop 3.
Yeah. Well, when you look at the cast and the director, nobody went on to do anything. But
except I did see Tom Noonan's in there.
Yes, Tom Noonan is in there. But he doesn't play a very big role.
Oh, I like Tom Noonan.
Tom Noonan plays Frankenstein. He's Frankenstein. Still, not a big role. I saw Boxing Helena, which was Jennifer Lynch's first film, her debut film. And this goes back to the 90s film looking very dated. This is basically just a Misery ripoff. I didn't like it.
Oh, it's full circle again.
Yep.
Not really full circle, but Julian Sands, who's in Leaving Las Vegas.
Yes, I did not like this film. I thought that it started off good enough, but it kind of fell apart near the end. And the premise is interesting. There's this rich, successful surgeon who becomes obsessed with this woman. She gets in a horrific... she gets hit by a car out in front of his house, and he takes her in, cuts off her legs, and keeps her captive in his house.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. It's clear that this is the daughter of David Lynch. It felt like a David Lynch film. There's a lot of like just weird random things that they would put in there, but it still was not good. I probably couldn't recommend that. And then I saw The Thin Blue Line, the Errol Morris documentary. Never saw it before. And I'm a huge documentary guy, so I decided I had to sit down and watch it, and I loved it. It'd be a 10 out of 10 for me. The use of the reenactments was great in this. They were expertly done. And like I said in my Letterboxd review, you got to give a 5 out of 5 to any movie that saves somebody's life. And that's what happens with this movie, so...
Yeah, I think you have to. I think it's a rule.
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar to the Paradise Lost series, although the Paradise Lost series doesn't have reenactments. Structurally, it's sort of the same, and the concept or the the basic plot is the same. It's a murder mystery, and as the documentary unfolds, they start to uncover lots of evidence that kind of points to someone other than the person that got convicted of this crime, which was the murder of a police officer. And it was just very interesting, very compelling. I think that it does look a little dated. It came out in 1988, but overall it holds up. And it was nice to see this movie for the first time now, because after I watched it, I could go back and look up what happened to these people.
Yeah.
And that was really cool to be able to do that and see, where these people are now or what happened to them.
Yeah, this is definitely one that I gotta check out.
Yeah.
Soon.
Highly recommend that.
I think.
Go on.
1 second. I'm thinking. You remember the Sight and Sound Top 50 Critics films of all time came out?
Yeah.
Well, they came out with the rest of the list. It's the top 250.
Oh yeah. I looked at that. I saw that this was on there.
Yeah, it's near the bottom there. But
yep, I did see that.
Yeah, so definitely need to check that one out.
Yeah, if you're into documentaries, I mean, I love documentaries, so this was just right up my alley, especially crime documentaries. Those are always great. Mysteries. I saw Rolling Thunder.
What?
This is a movie that came out in 1977. It's based on a novel that was written by the same guy that did Taxi Driver, and you can really see that in this movie. This is clearly a Taxi Driver. I don't want to say ripoff, but it's pretty much Taxi Driver, just in a different setting. Basically, this guy comes home from Vietnam. He was stuck in a POW camp for 7 years, and then he gets this as a reward or whatever. He gets this suitcase full of silver dollars.
I should just reading the storyline, and the second sentence is, some greedy thugs decide that they want to steal a number of silver dollars from him. Yeah. And I'm like, are you serious? Silver dollars. Just a number. A number of them.
That is the big issue I had with this movie the whole time I'm watching it. So there's these... It's a big televised event. He gets a silver dollar for every day he was stuck in a POW camp, which amounts to $2,500. And these guys see it, and they break into his house. They steal the suitcase of silver dollars. They put his hand in a garbage disposal, and then they kill his wife and his son. And that's not spoiler. That's in the synopsis.
For a suitcase of silver dollars.
Yeah, for $2,500, basically. And the whole time I'm like, all that for $2,500? And I was watching it with my girlfriend, and she was like, yeah, but what do you think that is for today's standards? Because this was the movie came out in 77. I think that the movie actually took place in 73 or 74. So I actually looked it up. And after inflation, it comes out to $10,600.
$10,006. Well, I mean, people have been killed for less.
Yeah, but this was just ridiculous.
But it is.
Anyway,
I just find it odd that someone would be pitching a movie and be like, a suitcase full of silver dollars. And they're like, yep, green light.
Yeah, it was crazy. But the main guy was played by William Devane, who he's one of those guys where you know his face, but not a very well known name. He was in a ton of stuff though, and Tommy Lee Jones is also in it.
Yes,
early role for Tommy Lee Jones, and it was very much like Taxi Driver. It was a slow burn, ultra violent at the end, but it wasn't anything spectacular. The reason I watched this is because I believe this was on Quentin Tarantino's Sight and Sound list.
Okay.
And I was like, I heard of this movie. I never saw it, so I figured I'd give it give it a watch. And it has a really cool poster, so...
But, afterwards, we sort of like, Quentin, what are you thinking?
Well, he always has really weird taste. Like, the movies that he picks on his lists are always really odd. And this was odd. I mean, it was a good movie. Like, the silver dollar thing aside, it was a pretty good movie. I would recommend seeing it. It's not on the level of Taxi Driver, but it's still solid. And finally, I watched My Neighbor Totoro, which is
you son of a bitch.
Studio Ghibli film from 1988. I kind of watched it as a palate cleanser because I saw a lot of pretty dark, depressing things this week.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go back and watch some of these Studio Ghibli films that I haven't seen or that I haven't seen for years.
I know how
and I never saw My Neighbor Totoro. I'm actually going to be watching the rest of the Studio Ghibli lineup.
This is also on my my list of movies that I have to watch before the end of the year.
Oh, really?
Which I forgot to say that Cache was also on that list. So I got 2 knocked off this week. Hopefully this week coming up, I can watch My Neighbor Totoro. Knock that off of there.
It was fantastic. I loved it. Perfect film. Much like pretty much every other Studio Ghibli. Highly recommend. The animation is just incredible. Like, you can't tell it's from 1988. The opening credits look like they're from 1988, but the rest of the movie, it's just so well done. The story is incredible. The little creatures are adorable, and I just want to watch them all day. And it was great. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I think this is on Sight and Sound, isn't it? Too.
The big list, yeah.
Yeah, the top list. 50, which I think is the only animated film on the top 50.
Yeah, I think so. I can't think of any others.
I can't either.
That's pretty much it. I do want to talk about Paranorman and the Expendables 2, but I think we'll do that before we do our review of Beasts of the Southern Wild. So let's go over some Amazon deals. To get these incredible deals, just hit up our site at filmpulse.net and click on the Amazon banner to the right and shop as you would normally, or click on the store link and check out some of what we've been watching in our favorite films. This week, it's actually, we got some new Blu-rays this week that I want to go over. Ooh. First of all, the Hunger Games is on sale for $19.99 on Amazon. You've probably already checked out the Hunger Games, but if you want to have it in your collection, $19.99.
I have to say, I was Saturday. I was at Target, and there's a bunch of people in like the DVD section, which you don't really see anymore nowadays. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Why are all these people freaking out about DVDs? And then I saw that it was the Hunger Games. So even when it came out on DVD, people are freaking out about it.
It came out on Friday, which is very unusual. I don't know why, but I've never heard of a DVD or Blu-ray release come out on a Friday, but they did it with the Hunger Games.
Because they can.
It's just that kind of movie.
Yeah.
And I still stand by what I originally said about it. I did like it, so.
Yeah, I thought it was all right.
The other one, Jaws Blu-ray. And this is Jaws Blu-ray DVD digital copy plus ultraviolet.
Oh.
This is 1996.
Ooh.
I've been hearing fantastic things about the Blu-ray transfer for Jaws, so definitely pick that one up.
Now, that's one that you definitely got to check out, because that's one of those movies that, like, I enjoy, but I really wish that I was around back then to see it on the screen. Oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, get this. I missed it last night. They screened Jaws here. Yeah, they screened it here in Tallahassee. They did a screening. Well, I wanted to go, but I didn't.
Well, the nice thing is now just get yourself the Blu-ray copy.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And they also
put it up on your big screen.
There's also a documentary on the Blu-ray that I've been interested to see. It's an hour and 45-minute long documentary about Jaws and it goes over like the production, all the problems they had. It goes all the way up to like the marketing and how they did the poster and everything. Extremely in-depth documentary.
Nice.
And they get like all the original cast back and Spielberg and everything. So I'm really interested to see that as well. I can't remember. It's called The Shark Still Working or something like that. Mm-hmm. But I'm very interested to see that. So those are two you should definitely check out. I also want to mention that we now have donation buttons on all of our episodes. So you can do a one-time donation of any amount you want, or you can also sign up for a recurring donation, which is only 99 cents a month. It's like $1 a month to help support the show. So click on those links. We really appreciate that because the show is completely donation driven.
Are we gonna start going into the route of like the NPR? We're gonna start doing that.
Underwriters. We're gonna get some underwriters.
Every couple of months. It seems like NPR does that like every 2 months.
Pledge
now.
drive.
Pledge drive.
Yeah, they do it entirely too often now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna have pledge drives
where we just say the same things over and over again.
We're standing by the phones. We don't hear those phones ringing. We'd like to thank Brugger's Bagels for supplying our lunch today. Get those phones ringing. Okay, I think I'm going to talk really briefly about The Expendables 2 and Paranorman. I think our discussion of The Expendables 2 might be a little bit longer, so I'm going to just quickly go over Paranorman. I recommend it. It was great. It was fun. There was really funny. The stop motion animation was incredible. I have a full review for that and The Expendables 2 on the site, so just go to filmpulse.net to read my thoughts at length. But definitely recommend Paranorman. I still liked Coraline better, but I thought Paranorman was solid, and I do recommend it.
Yeah, I really want to see this.
It was cool. I mean, everybody's saying that the 3D looks really great in it, but I honestly couldn't even tell that it was in 3D. Like, I don't know if my eyes just got used to it or what, but nothing about the 3D really stuck out for me.
See, I don't really even... I'm one of those people that can't really watch the 3D stuff. Gives me a huge headache.
It was fine. It wasn't like too in your face, I guess, but the movie itself is great, and I do recommend it.
It's just it looks like a good time. Just a good time.
It's a fun. It's sort of a parody or a throwback to 80s style horror films.
Oh, that makes it even better.
The thing, it was great when the logos came up for like Focus Films and stuff. Before the movie started, they were like, they made them look really old, and they had like the film grain and stuff.
Yes.
And I was like, yes, this is great. Like, sort of like what, oh, you didn't see Magic Mike, but Warner Brothers did it with Magic Mike, where they used the old Warner Brothers logo. And I was like, oh, right.
That's what I like. Just the little touches here and there.
Oh, yeah.
So, a little creativity in the title cards or anything like that. It's nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it lets you know that you're just going to be in for a fun... It sets the tone, is what it does. It sets the tone.
Set the tone setters.
Okay, Expendables 2. I loved this movie. I thought it was fantastic. It was dumb. It was cheesy. It was over the top and ridiculous. And it was just a ton of fun. It achieved everything that it set out to do. The action was pretty standard. There wasn't any like specific action scenes that I was just like, whoa.
Was it high octane though?
It was high octane. There was a lot of explosions, a lot of people getting dispatched. It was great though. The acting was pretty shitty. Especially from Arnold. Like, he definitely needs to... He's out of practice, I guess. But he was great. The amount of one-liners and like winks and nods to the viewer are so numerous that it's almost overwhelming. But I was eating it up. Like, I thought it was to hear Arnold say, "I'll be back," and to have Chuck Norris say a Chuck Norris joke in the film was great. And Dolph Lundgren was awesome in this one as well. It's funny because he's like the comic relief, and you don't imagine freaking Dolph Lundgren being the comic relief of anything. And he's hilarious in this movie. He was the sort of the comic relief in the first one too, I guess. But I do have some issues with it. Jet Li was in it for only a very short amount of time, which sucked. And I guess he just wasn't that into being in the whole film, or maybe it was too much. So that he's actually not in it that much. But you do get to see him in a fight, pretty cool fight scene involving like pots and pans, which is awesome. And it was like a Jet Li style like martial arts fight, so it wasn't anything stupid. It was choreographed.
Do they do like an homage where someone rips off his chest hair?
No.
Oh.
No.
I was hoping for that. But I'm thinking of, we're going to talk about how the Expendables 3, and I would just like them, and I only want this to happen for me so I can laugh my ass off. But how they get all these people together is if they just get Beat Takeshi for the third one.
That'd be cool.
Just to have like his stoic facial twitching. Just to have like explosions and everything. And then it's just him standing there and just like a little face twitch. And then that's it.
So I recommend going to see it. It's fun. If you liked any action movie in the 80s or 90s, maybe even the 70s, go see it. It's big dumb fun is what I would call it. It's
and
nothing deep.
No.
But I had a smile on my face the whole time I was watching it. It was just ridiculous.
And we talked about this off the air, but I mean, I'm not into this, and I'm not going to see these movies, but I'm not going to critique this because it's not my cup of tea. I mean, they know what they're making and who they're making it for.
Yeah.
They're not trying to, pull the wool over anyone's eyes here.
And I think that's one of the problems that happened with the first one. I think with the first one, they took themselves way too seriously. And with this one, it's a lot lighter, a lot funnier. And there was certainly one-liners and banter in the first one, but there's so much more of it in this one. And having Van Damme as the villain was an excellent choice. The villain in the first Expendables was actually the one Batista from Dexter, and he was not a good villain. He was pretty generic, but to have Van Damme as the villain, it was great. And at the end, you get to see a pretty awesome fight between Van Damme and Stallone.
Nice.
Which is pretty, it's just iconic, and I'm really excited. They actually have Expendables 3 and 4 in the works. And Expendables 3, they're talking, Stallone has said that he's already working on the cast, and I think pretty much everybody's going to be back for the third one. And they're in talks with Clint Eastwood, Wesley Snipes, and Kevin Costner. Or no, I'm sorry, not Kevin Costner.
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford, yeah.
And Nicolas Cage is signed on.
And Nicolas Cage is already on board. So he's definitely on board. They're still in talks with Clint Eastwood, Wesley Snipes, because Wesley Snipes is in jail. But I think that he's expressed interest when he gets out.
Yeah, but I mean, that'd be a nice, gig to set up. Like you're in prison, but as soon as you get out, boom, Expendables 3.
Yeah. I would like to see Wesley Snipes in Expendables 3.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I said I might watch it with Nicolas Cage. Because, it's going to be batshit crazy Nicolas Cage.
I could see him being the villain.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And
definitely him being the villain.
Oh, that would be amazing.
I would like to see Kurt Russell be in it. They need Kurt Russell.
Be nice.
And I know that they're not going to get Seagal because they tried to get him before, and he's turned it down like an idiot. Like,
well, he's got stuff going on. He's got a lot of irons in the fire.
Yeah.
Well, he's like a sheriff or something, right?
He is something. I don't know. He is some sort of law enforcement person.
He's a joke, really.
Well, the way I look at it, okay, Expendables 2, way better than the first one. Expendables 3, I don't know.
Maybe
Maybe
I'd
by
I'd like to see that cast go up against the Raid cast.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Be great. And I have a
or
feeling the Raid would just kick the shit out of all of them.
Or if they could just get Gareth Evans to direct the Expendables 3.
There you go.
That's an idea. Throwing that out there. Because Stallone directed the first one, I think, and then Simon West did the second one. But I think Stallone wrote... I think he wrote it.
Yeah, he wrote it.
Either way, the Expendables 2, far better. Like, the storyline was just way more interesting. Wasn't quite as boring.
I mean, maybe that's what it was. Maybe Stallone just bit off a bit more that he could chew with the first one. Writing and directing it and assembling everybody. Maybe that's how this...
I think that they had some time to refine the idea, too. Like, in the first Expendables, yeah, they brought in Bruce Willis and Schwarzenegger as just little cameos, just throwaway cameos. That they were in one scene.
Yeah.
In this one, they're actually in a significant amount of the movie, which is nice. And Chuck Norris and Jet Li kind of take the back seat. They're only in... Jet Li's in really one action set piece that's at the very beginning of the movie. Chuck Norris is in two scenes, sort of. But he's still just... He's not like one of the team. Yeah. He's the lone wolf.
He's always been alone.
There's a great line where Stallone looks at him and he's like... I thought you were a lone wolf. And Chuck Norris goes, yeah, well, sometimes the lone wolf likes to run with the pack. It's so awesome. Oh, it's just great lines like that.
Yes.
But it was all tongue in cheek. You know, none of it was serious. It was all fun. And once again, Chuck Norris looks like he's a 35-year-old man.
He does not age. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't going nuts. Like, he wasn't running around, rolling on the ground and stuff. I was surprised at the amount of action that Arnold did. He did some rolling and diving.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the funniest scenes they show in the trailer is when Arnold rips off the door of a smart car. It's just so funny. So, anyway, highly recommend Expendables 2. Let's talk about Beasts of the Southern Wild. So you finally got to see it. You saw it today.
Yes, finally. I was supposed to see it yesterday, but food poisoning took care of that.
There you go. That sucks.
Yeah, so I got to see it today.
I don't know. Maybe it's kind of related because I feel like if I lived in the little shanty town that these people lived in, I'd have food poisoning 24/7.
Yeah. Yes. But they probably get used to it after a while.
Yeah, your body would just get used to it.
Learn to deal with it.
I expressed my love for this movie a few weeks ago when I saw it in the theater. So let's start with what you thought. What are your opinions on Beasts of the Southern Wild?
Absolutely loved it. Loved it. And I know me and you talked about before we started recording is I was in the drive up to the movie theater, and as I was sitting in the movie theater, I got a little bit worried because I've been wanting to see this movie for a long time, ever since it was announced and people first started talking about it at Sundance. And there was a part of me that as soon as I heard about it, I was like, oh, I'm going to love this movie. And I was a little worried that I had my expectations up a bit too high. And I was like, I really hope I didn't get my expectations up too high. And hopefully this isn't a letdown. And like I told you, within like the first 10 minutes, I was just like, nope. Expectations have been met. This is awesome.
Everything
and just
about this
loved it.
film is, in my opinion, in my mind, everything about this film is perfect. Everything from the cinematography, the acting, the great score. The soundtrack was actually done by the director Ben Zeitlin,
Yeah,
and
another guy.
I love the soundtrack.
Yeah, the soundtrack was great.
I've been listening to it on it. They have it on Spotify. I've been listening to it on there. Actually,
Ooh, I'm gonna have to look into that. Yeah,
Yeah,
him
it's
and
great.
Dan Romer did the original music, which is it's fantastic. The cinematography is fantastic. The performances are great, even though they're all non-professional actors.
Yeah, these are all non-actors. Most of the cast he met in Louisiana and just he had like an open casting call there and auditioned people. I mean, that's how he found everybody. The main character of Hush Puppy, played by Quvenzhané Wallace, he found her there, and she does such an amazing job. I think that role that she did, I mean, she's 6 years old.
Yeah.
And the entire time I'm watching it, I'm like, how did they get this kid to do this and act like this? Because it couldn't have been easy. I mean, like, when I look at the adults that are in that movie, I'm like, that looks like it'd be hard to be in that movie because it is so dirty and grimy and gross and wet. It just looks
It's a lot of water.
a lot of water, a lot of dirt and mud and dead things.
A lot of dead animals.
And that was the other thing. They did not use any kind of puppets. They didn't use any CG. They didn't use anything. They used all real practical effects. The director actually, that the pig is a pet. It's his pet. And they dressed it up. And I guess they used some kind of like compositing to duplicate it or something.
Yeah, I mean, just great. And it was just, I got such a sense of like community from the film. And I mean, this is made by Court 13 is the name of like the production company or whatever that Zeitlin's a part of. And it's essentially, it is just like a community that comes together and makes movies. And I thought that they really were able to showcase that. Is that, it's just a community. It's, just normal people having fun, making a movie. And I just thought it was really compelling. It was just a great, great movie. One of the best that I've seen this year, easily.
Currently, this is still my number one movie of the year. This is a hard movie to describe to someone who hasn't seen it. How would you describe this movie to someone, to a layman?
To a layman.
To Ryan.
To Ryan.
Let's say you're going to describe it to Ryan.
Well, I wouldn't waste my goddamn time because he's not going to watch it. But if I had to explain it to him, I would say that it's the story of a 6-year-old Hush Puppy and her dad Wink. They live in the bathtub, which is a Delta community in Louisiana, poverty-stricken. And I think that essentially the whole movie is, the way that I look at it, is a story of community, family, a coming-of-age story, dealing with loss, and essentially, growing up and moving on, coming to terms with things.
I think that there's several messages that can be taken away from the film.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here.
Clearly, it's a comment on global warming as well, because essentially this, although we could probably assume that this is sort of like a post-Katrina New Orleans type place, when they show the map in the film, it clearly is not anywhere that's real. I think it's like a fictional place. It's almost told as if it's like a folklore or like a fairy tale.
Yeah.
And I think in this, the polar ice caps have already at least partially melted, maybe. And that's why most of the area and the land is sort of based. There's like two halves. There's like the waterlogged area, and then there's the area behind the levees that's like the dry area. But I like to look at it more so as like the character piece, like the coming of age story.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that the whole, and I don't think that it's very strongly, like, I don't think that this is like a global warming movie.
Doesn't no. It doesn't like
But
jam it down your throat or anything.
I have a feeling that some people probably do take it that way. I'm sure that some people look at it like this is leftist BS. But I didn't think that. I mean, they slightly touch upon it, but it delves into things much more deeper and I think a lot more relatable.
It's almost like a human interest piece.
Yeah. I mean, it's the story of a 6-year-old and her parents, and essentially losing one of her parents. I thought it was extremely poetic and just absolutely amazing. And I loved it. I loved every minute of it. And I was sort of bummed out when the movie was over, because I could have watched it for like another 4 hours.
Yeah, it was almost like watching a poem. It's the way that it's kind of structured. It's kind of interesting because it's a lot happens. It's like an adventure story, and there's a lot of dramatic elements. There's a lot of fantasy elements that come into play, and it's great. It encompasses everything that I would want in a feel-good movie.
Yeah, I think that it was a perfect mixture of, and it's a lot like a Miyazaki animation film, in the sense that it real world problems, emotions, things that you have to deal with in your life, but also with the perfect amount of imagination and just like childlike wonder, just perfectly mixed. That I thought it was amazing. And I really wish that, like, as soon as we're done this, that I could just watch it again.
Yeah, I know. I cannot wait for this to come out on Blu-ray. Dying to see this on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I'm just dying to see it again, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that the Blu-ray has a lot of cool, like, behind-the-scenes stuff. I would love to see.
Yeah, I would like to see a lot, too. Just knowing that they are, like, a community of filmmakers and people that work on film. I would like to see the behind the scenes of how they get things done, because I know that don't quote me on this, but I think Zeitlin's sister, I think, did a lot of the set pieces. I think she's an artist and put a lot of the set pieces together.
And the sets were amazing. That kind of rural setting is one of my favorites. I love that. I mean, that's why I like George Washington so much, and movies like that. It's right up my alley. I don't know why, but I just love that setting.
Same here. And this is another thing that I don't know if you got to read about this or anything, but in not the last, but I think the one before that, my Film Comment magazine, there was a big interview with Zeitlin regarding the movie and everything and what the future holds for him. And one of the questions was, is he going to move out to LA, and become a big time director? And he said, no, I'm staying in Louisiana. This is where I live, and this is where I'm going to make movies. And then he was sort of saying that a lot of people took that as him, like, sort of giving the finger to LA. And he was like, no. He's like, it's not that at all. He's like, I just want to stay in Louisiana. This is my home. This is the people that I work with, and I'm going to stay here and make movies. So I'm really excited to see what he holds for the future, the movies that he comes out with later on. I'm excited.
The interesting thing about this is I feel like we had this conversation before when George Washington first came out.
Yeah.
And I remember at the time, David Gordon Green was a first-time director, and we were like, man, I can't wait to see what this guy comes out with next. And it was like he was a young director. You know, that was like his student film. Same thing with Ben Zeitlin. This is like his first feature, and he's a young guy. And
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that...
Yeah, I'm really hoping that, however many years from now, I'm not sitting here going, The Sitter 4, directed by Zeitlin. You remember that guy?
I am concerned about that because this is definitely a passion project, and he put everything into this. So I don't know. I can't imagine whatever his next feature is if it'll be as strong. I hope so, but
No, I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, it's a bit rough for him because he set the bar so high with his first feature. I mean, it's going to be hard. I mean, from now on, every single movie that he comes out with, they're going to be like, well, it wasn't as good as Beast of the Southern Wild. So that's going to be something difficult to overcome. But the only reason I brought that up is I think that's a good sign that he's staying in Louisiana and he wants to be there and he has this sense of community.
Yeah, I think that's good too. But when you look at Beast of the Southern Wild, there was so much that could have gone wrong with this film.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've seen plenty of movies that have non-actors playing roles.
Oh, yeah.
Them, and 9 times out of 10, it hurts the film.
Yeah.
I think he got so lucky with this cast, and they did so well. I mean, the Quavejene Wallace, she's going to be in, she was cast in the new 12 Years a Slave.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was cast in the new Steve McQueen movie, man. 12 Years a Slave.
That movie's getting crazy.
Oh, yeah. Huge cast on that one.
That movie's going to be amazing.
Yeah, but yeah, she was cast in that, and I'm sure it was due to her phenomenal role in this movie. So that's a 10 out of 10 for me, and that's a 10 out of 10 from Kevin. So go see it. It's playing. It's still playing in a lot of theaters around, so you should be able to check it out wherever you're at.
Which I had to say I was happy. I mean, I went to the 11:50 showing this morning, and there wasn't many, but there was people in there, which made me happy.
Oh,
which you understand because you know where I live.
It was our theater was packed when I saw it, and it's still playing like 2 weeks later. So I'm very happy with that. So let's move on and go over our predictions.
Ooh.
We got Expendables 2. You said 24. I said 30. Actual 66.
Man.
Way off.
Way off
on that one.
Good Lord.
Paranorman. You said 72. I said 68. Actual 87. We have Cosmopolis. You said 64. I said 53. And actual was 64 on that one.
Ooh,
so you were right on the money.
Nailed it.
Right on the money. These are Rotten Tomatoes scores. I always forget to mention that. And we have Compliance. We both thought that this would get critical praise, and we were right. 84 was your guess. 82 was my guess. Actual was 91.
Yeah.
Compliance.
I want to see this movie so bad.
Yeah, I've been avoiding reviews, but unfortunately, with what we do here, I have to read a lot of the trades and stuff, and I'll read the headlines, and it seems like everybody's loving this one. So
yeah, I'm excited.
And then we have Side by Side. This is another one that we thought critics were going to absolutely adore. And you said 94. I said 90. Actual 93. So
Ooh.
We were right on that one, too. And finally, we have Chicken with Plums. You said 80. I said 76. Actual 73 on that one.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So that was a good week for you. That was 4 for you, I believe, and 2 for me.
All right. Come back. Comeback.
Making a comeback.
Matthew
Here we go.
McConaughey. Pulling a Matthew McConaughey up in here.
Pulling a Matthew McConaughey. Next week we got Premium Rush. This is the Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Michael Shannon action film. What do you think on this one?
Ooh, this is a tough one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to go 61.
61? Okay, I'm going to go 68 on that one. I think it's only a matter of time before one or both of those guys is in something that's not so good.
Yeah.
Because they've had a really good run lately.
Yes.
Maybe Premium Rush is it, but I think it looks pretty cool. So, and then we have the Apparition. This is some horror movie that doesn't look very appealing to me.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm gonna say a 23 on this one.
23. I'm going to go like a 19.
Okay, 19. Then we have Hit and Run. This is the Dax Shepard film. I know he directed it. I think he might have written it too.
Yeah.
And it's with Bradley Cooper and Kristen Bell. This looks like it could go either way for me.
Hit and Run. I'm going to go 66.
I'm going to go 50 on this one. And finally, we have Sleepwalk With Me. This is the... What's his name?
Mike Birbiglia.
Mike Birbiglia. This
comedian.
American Life.
Yeah.
Documentary. This looks pretty good. And this actually... Have you seen anything online about the feud between...
I've read about it. I didn't get to see the actual videos, though.
Oh, it's hilarious. So... The Sleepwalk With Me is this documentary about this comedian who begins sleepwalking, and it's sort of told through reenactments and stuff, and it looks great. It's produced by the people that do This American Life, and so Joss Whedon, the iconic, huge director of...
Whoa, we're throwing iconic around already?
To some people, I would call him iconic just because of the ridiculous following he has.
That is true. He does have a ridiculous following for no reason whatsoever.
I would agree. I mean, I think he did a great job with Avengers, but I honestly never liked any of his TV work. So, anyway, Joss Whedon came out with this video, basically telling people to boycott this movie because people were so excited about this movie, they were demanding that their theaters play it, and it went from playing in like a really small number of theaters to like upwards of 200, and Joss Whedon came out with this video saying that you should boycott it because it's making the Avengers lose theaters, and he's not making enough money from it, and it's hilarious. And then Mike Birbiglia and Ira Glass came out with a response video against the Avengers, saying that they now want to make $1 more than the Avengers made at the theater. It's funny. I mean, obviously, it's all just a joke, and Joss Whedon's supporting this film, so...
Yeah.
I think that this is going to be pretty good, and I'm going to say, like, 85.
Yeah, I have to say I'm extremely excited. I want to see this movie very badly. I'm going to say, like, 87.
There we go. Okay, that's predictions. Let's go over the DVD releases for this Tuesday. Let's see.
A lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff on Tuesday.
First up, we have The Dictator. This is the Sacha Baron Cohen film. When I first saw this, I actually liked it. However, it's one of those where the longer it sat with me, the less I kind of liked it. So... I'd say it's worth a rental. I mean, I still wasn't like I hated it, but it was just average, I
Yeah,
guess.
it starts to wear off.
Yeah, I don't know if I actually said it was anything more than average when I actually saw it, so it's probably worth a rental. I'd like to see the unrated version that was banned in Malaysia. I think that might be funny. I don't know.
Yeah.
We have what are you gonna say for The Dictator?
I'd say check it out. I mean, I sort of want to see it, and that's one of those movies I had to talk my wife into seeing, but I want to check it out.
And we have Chimpanzee. This is the Disney nature documentary narrated by Tim Allen. I think we commented on that before.
Yes, we did. I said that it was going to hurt.
Yeah, and it got bad reviews then.
Yes. I feel bad. Because Tim Allen's probably a nice guy.
Yeah. And he does a lot of commercials.
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy.
He does like Campbell's Soup. I've noticed him in Campbell's Soup commercials.
I'm waiting for him to show up in like a Tarantino movie. And just make like some crazy comeback. Be great.
I'd love to see a Home Improvement movie.
Directed by Tarantino.
Yeah, there we go. My girlfriend saw this and she liked it, but I probably honestly won't see it.
Yeah, I probably won't see it either. Yeah, I might.
I probably won't.
That's an in-between for me. Do we have an in-between category?
Yeah,
maybe check it out, maybe not check it out.
Maybe on a Sunday afternoon. I don't know.
If you got time.
That's your obscure French film / mumblecore time.
Yeah, Saturday afternoon. That's what I'm talking about.
There you go. And then we have Bernie. We talked about this last week, I guess.
It's Saturday afternoon. It's Sunday afternoon. My apologies. I don't even know my obscure French mumblecore time.
Jeez.
Unbelievable.
Bernie, I think, is a solid rent, and possibly even, I might even buy this one just to see. I'm hoping that the Blu-ray has some
behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah,
I would really like to. And when they do the credits at the end, and they're sort of showing Jack Black actually talking to the real life character that he plays.
I want to see that.
I hope they have some of that on the special features, because I would like to see those two interacting. And
yes,
that'd be great.
Yes. So definitely, I would say pick that one up. And then we have A Separation.
Ooh, definite.
I still haven't seen this, but
definitely see it.
You seem to love it, so
this might actually. I think I gave it a 9 out of 10.
You did
first visit. That might bump up to a 10 out of 10. I don't know.
Wow.
Maybe I'll watch it again and see if it deserves it.
Definitely see A Separation then. The
fantastic movie.
Yeah. Well, this was it was nominated for Academy Award, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
What else do we got? Anything? We got Attack of the Killer Backpacks.
What? Finally out on DVD. Are you serious?
Finally. I've been waiting for Attack of the Killer Backpacks for so long. I don't understand why they waited so long to put that out there.
Because the studio just never realizes the gems that they have.
No. We also have Hell. That's a German post-apocalyptic story that it was pretty good. I saw it.
So you're saying uplifting?
No.
Okay.
No.
I just heard post-apocalyptic and German. So I was figuring uplifting.
And the only other one I want to mention is Zombie A-Hole.
That sounds like a Ryan movie.
Yeah. It might be a Ryan movie. Zombie A-Hole.
Wow. That sounds exactly like a Ryan movie.
Yep.
I have two to mention.
Okay.
We have Weekend coming out on Criterion Collection Blu Ray, which is Andrew by a film by Andrew High, talking about a one-night stand between two gay men, and this was actually a surprisingly good movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it, so I would definitely say check that one out if you're okay with watching two men have sex with each other.
Oh, real
If you
quick,
don't, then I wouldn't check that out.
that reminds me, there is a sort of a gay joke in Paranorman that is hilarious at the end of the movie. It's not like offensive or anything, but it's awesome how they do it.
But yeah, I would definitely check this out. Plus Criterion, it's quality.
No brainer.
One other thing, and I completely forgot about this movie, but I know you have seen it, and I remember talking way back that I wanted to see it. That is the Korean movie Breathless.
Oh yeah.
Finally coming out on DVD, which makes me extremely happy because I've been wanting to see this movie for years. And I sort of forgot about it.
I actually did too. I remember I saw it when I was in Pennsylvania on a trip up there because I remember telling you about it.
Yeah. He had a low-life gangster. He has a problem with like his rage.
Yeah.
And sort of takes it out on the wrong people. And I think I remember you telling me that there's a scene where he sort of takes it out on a little girl. And then it's sort of like their relationship, the little girl and this gangster.
It's very violent. It's pretty brutally violent, but it hits you in spurts. It's not like nonstop violence, but when it hits hard.
Mm. So I'm excited about that. I definitely want to check that out. I've been wanting to see that.
Oh, I was gonna say, was that the same name as that other stupid Gus? Was it Gus Van Sant? The Restless. Yeah, it's different.
No, this has the same name as the Jean-Luc Godard movie, Breathless.
Yeah, yep. And every time I see the Godard Breathless, I'm like, oh no. Okay, I think that wraps it up. There was one other one that I actually just saw on this list that I wanted to mention. It's a film called Shuffle. I'm not sure if you heard. This is a little indie film.
I just saw it. I think I remember you talking about this.
The cover's terrible.
Yeah.
But it's kind of this interesting story about this guy who every day he wakes up, he's a different age in his life.
Oh.
So one day he'll wake up and he's like 15. The next day he'll wake up, he's like 30. The next day he'll wake up, he's like 6. And it's directed by the guy who did the documentary Dear Zachary.
Oh.
Yeah. This is like his first narrative film. I'm very interested. And the other thing I noticed is that it has a large number of people from the show Bones are in this movie, and I don't really get why. Like 4 people from the show Bones are in this movie.
It's just like a Bones. I was gonna say Reunion, but that's still on TV. Isn't
it's still on. Yeah, I don't know.
I've never seen Bones ever.
I don't hate it. The only reason I've seen it is because my girlfriend likes those procedurals, and Bones is one of the ones that isn't horrible.
Mm.
Well, I think that does it. I think that wraps it up.
That's it.
For all the latest film news and reviews, make sure you hit us up at filmpulse.net, and we want to hear your feedback. Send us an email at feedback@filmpulse.net or call our voicemail line at 850-391-6071. Also, please take a minute to rate us on iTunes. We appreciate that greatly. And hit those donate buttons. We need your help. We're poor. We are extremely poor.
Poverty-stricken.
For filmpulse.net, my name is Adam.
And I'm Kevin.
And we will see you on Wednesday for Ryan Watches a Movie when we have him watch Rad.